Hey everyone, welcome to Reddit Readout. Today we are checking out Rules Horror. Story 1. I just got a job at a gas station and my new manager gave me a strange list of rules. A place to share scary stories which contain a set of rules to follow. It's my first day on my new job but I don't know what to do. The manager, seeing I was confused, handed me a list of rules. 1. If a customer asks for any amount on pump 11, walk into the storage room behind the counter and hide until you hear them leave. We don't have a pump 11. 2. If you get a phone call between the times of 11 p.m. to 12 p.m., don't pick up. 3. At around 9 p.m. a mom and her son will usually enter. If they enter past 9:30 p.m. ignore them. 3.5. If the mother and son don't show up, leave immediately, or you will share the same fate as them. 4. If you see a tall black figure with red eyes, that's just George, but if it's a short black figure with red eyes, refer to Rule 5. 5. There is a gun underneath the counter in case of robbers and any encounters with him. 6. He's watching, ignore his presence. 7. Don't trust the man wearing a black suit, jeans, and a white fedora. 8. Don't trust anything in brackets, it's not me. 9. Trust the mans with the white fedora and a black suit and jeans. 9. The him I've been referring to is a entity that roams around this place, don't mention that to anyone. Story 2. Rules for the Spores. A place to share scary stories which contain a set of rules to follow. If you're reading this, the spores have arrived. Thankfully the SCD, Spore Control Department, has these rules for your survival. Don't open the door. No matter how much they beg or scream, remember it's too late for them. In the event you are outside, immediately return to your home within 15 minutes. If you see red dots, it's too late. Consult Rule 10. Don't open for anyone after it has been 5 minutes, it's too late for them. Don't drink the water. Spores can't survive for longer than 6 hours without a host. You'll be fine. If someone comes to your door claiming to be SCD, make sure they are wearing a hazmat with an intact blue sticker. If they don't meet these requirements, ignore them. Ignore the flamethrower, it's not for you. Our personnel will not ask you to leave. If they do, ignore them. If they do show up, it means a swarm is coming. In that case, consult Rule 10. If you see any damage to your home, consult Rule 10. Lock yourself in an undamaged room. Turn off the lights. Wait for the spores to pass. Be silent if they have broken in. Consult Rule 11. If you suspect yourself to be infected, please report to the nearest SCD official. There they will mitigate the threat. It will be quick. Story 3. The Babylon Forest. A place to share scary stories which contain a set of rules to follow. Many people like to live in the city, far away from the natural world. Far away from the roots of humanity. I, as a park ranger and professional hunter, live in the forest just 5 minutes away from a small town called Babylon. I'm a bit of a woodman, in my self-made hut near a lake. It's a good life. Hunting animals and fishing is genuine some of the most fun things to do in life. Many people want to go back to their original roots, when monkeys ruled the jungle, and I can't blame them. But many of these people are too, for lack of a better word, cowardly to fully immerse themselves to the life of the forest. You have to get a license to hunt, contact and inform the proper authorities and blah blah blah. There is one forest though, the one I'm in, the Babylon one, where you can truly go back to your roots. Beware, the forest is a dangerous place if you don't know what you're doing. But, once you get everything set up, there's still things you should know. The forest has rules, which you should learn and carve into your head if you want to ever survive. There's 3 things to keep in mind before you even think about hunting. 1. Everything can and should hurt you. 2. If it can hurt you, while not necessarily always, it will most likely be able to kill you. 3. Animals are unpredictable, bullets won't always be enough. Once you know those 3 basics, then it's time to learn the advanced rules. For hunting in the day. 1. Keep the safety on your hunter's rifle, or whatever gun you have, on. You don't want to waste bullets by mistake. 2. Be ready to wait. If you want to hunt, waiting will be your lover and patience your best friend. 3. Don't get closer than you have to, if you are too close you'll be seen by your prey. Plus, you have a gun, you don't ever want to be too close to what you're shooting. 4. Count how many bullets you have, if the amount of animals around you is larger than how many bullets you have, find a different spot. 5. Don't mess with something you aren't confident you can take down with a single shot. 6. Don't ever underestimate anything. Nothing is innocent, nothing. 7. If a deer starts smashing its head against a tree over and over until its head starts to bleed, don't eat its meat. It's tainted. Even if you kill it with a gun, it's unsafe to eat. 8. If you see a bear, don't panic. They are usually peaceful and a sign of safety, if they aren't a mother. I'm not saying you should go and pet them, I'm saying you should take a moment to breathe as you walk away. If a bear is around that means that deer aren't. 9. Eat everything you kill, waste nothing. Throw what you can't use far away from where you sleep. Wolves are in Babylon, but may not be in your forest. Better be safe than sorry. 10. When night comes, be ready for the worst to happen. When night comes, at least in Babylon, everything changes. You're surrounded by darkness and trees, you are only high in the food chain because of your gun. Treat it like your firstborn child when night comes. Night has its own rules to keep in track of. 1. Deer are unpredictable. You may think they are cute little forest dogs, they are demons. Not religiously speaking, no, they are the closest thing to actual demons. 2. Be aware, deer may charge at you randomly for little provocation. They are surprisingly good at making you bleed. Do not let any of them sneak near you. 3. Don't try to get more than one kill at night, you shouldn't ever be trying to hunt at night, but if you do get something, don't fucking get cocky or you'll be someone else's prey. 4. Do not scream. Even if you step on a bear trap, do not screech. The forest isn't just filled with animals, but it's better to not try to find what exactly it is out there. Those things in the forest? They are violent. Loud noises alone don't attract them, it's fear. Don't be scared. 5. If you have a phone, turn it off when you're hunting. It will begin to ring when you're near one of them. A man pretending to be a cop will call you claiming that you have broken into private territory. If you ever get this call, you have about 20 seconds before you get turned into nothing more than nutrients. 6. Don't sleep outside. Mosquitoes are annoying, the creatures are basically guaranteed to find you if you snore. And for God's sake have an escape plan. If you plan to be permanently in the forest, lock your doors. If you plan to stay for a weekend, make sure you have a car or something to get you out fast. And if you feel like you're surrounded, and unsure of what to do, have a bullet as an escape plan. Story 4. Rules for assaulting anomalies. A place to share scary stories which contain a set of rules to follow. As a certain man who wants a cave update attacks more zones of anomalous interest, I've decided to write a list of rules to keep them safe while they perform their little destruction spree. Rule 1. There will be 3 different rule sets for 3 different crafts of transportation, land, Rule 2 to 10. Sea, Rule 11 to 20. Air, Rule 21 to 30. Rule 2. Keep silent while driving. Skulldriver got the driver part of his name from ramming unsuspecting vehicles that drive on the road. He'll target you even more after what you've done. Rule 3. Keep on driving. You can safely ignore this rule if you only plan to stop for a minute or 2 during the trip. Rule 4. Keep your land trips few and far between. You don't want beings you don't understand following you home, right? Rule 5. If at any point a deer goes in front of your vehicle on the road, run it over. The remains should distract whatever was chasing it for long enough for you to get far away. Rule 6. This should be common sense, but make sure you have enough fuel for the trip. The last thing you want is to be stranded with the entities that roam these asphalt deadlands. Rule 7. Please, for the love of God, don't try to fit your precious fluffles on the vehicle. it's too small for him to fit anyways. Rule 8. A car drenched in blood will be following you during this. You have a 10-kilometer head start, it's the reason why you can't stop for too long other than the entities. Rule 9. Keep a loaded revolver with you, if something catches you, blast your brains out. Every bullet in the revolver is an extra life. 2. Not run out. Rule 10. The more you take a route, the more dangerous it gets. Try to keep your routes unique. Rule 11. If you see a plastic rubber duck floating towards your boat, leave the area as quickly as possible. That duck is a bad omen. Rule 12. Don't stay in one spot for too long. Remember the legend about the kraken? Yeah, it's real and it's hunting you. Rule 13. Be on the lookout for sea mines. They know what a sea mine is and they will try to use them on your boat. Rule 14. Fishing is allowed, eating the fish you catch however, isn't. Mothers can be quite brutal when they find out their offspring was eaten. Rule 15. If at any point you see the outline of a large serpent in the waters, start sailing because you're not hallucinating. It's there and it will eat you. Rule 16. As stated in Rule 6, bring enough fuel for the trip. Ignore this rule if you're not using a method of movement on the seas that needs fuel. You don't need diesel to use a paddle now, right? Rule 17. Depending on the size of your boat you may be able to fit your precious fluffs on board, it'll protect against the smaller entities, but you'll have to feed it too. Rule 18. Beware of the sirens, they'll attempt to lure you in with their songs. Rule 18/A. If you're interested you can do stuff with them, their happiness is your suffering cause at the end of it, most of your brain will have rotted away. Rule 18/B. If you're not interested, good decision then take a rifle, I hope you packed a rifle and shoot at them, it'll scare 'em off. Rule 19. Bring a rifle, any kind just as long as it'll hurt like hell when it hits. Rule 20. Beware of the tugboat, no matter how large the boat you sail on is, it'll always be able to be bigger than it. Rule 21. It's recommended to use a large plane so you can fit Fluffles on, it'll be able to keep away the Suiflighters. They got their name due to them flying en masse into engines to bring down planes. Rule 22. Make sure you know how to fly the plane you're losing. Crashing a plane can be just as deadly as a lunar imposter tearing you to shreds. Not everything on this rule list has to be anomalous to kill you. Rule 23. I did not make a typo when I told you to know how to fly the plane you're losing, the plane you used to phase out of existence once you land. Be it normally or via a crash. Rule 24. Pack parachutes, you'll need them if the aircraft goes down. Rule 25. Helicopters are highly encouraged as they can land in many more places than a jet or prop plane. It is also harder for the Skullgills to piece helicopters with their spear-like beaks. Rule 26. Once again, pack enough fuel for the flight, it won't be as forgiving as running out of fuel in the car or boat. I don't want to have to clean up bits and pieces of you in a feeble attempt to scrape together enough of you to perform a funeral. Rule 27. Don't rely on me to rescue or help you when you're in the air, I have a fear of heights and I don't even know how to fly a helicopter or plane anyways. Rule 28. Bring a Bible or any other religious book with you while you're doing this, it's nice to have something to believe in when anomalous birds are trying to turn you into carrion. Rule 29. Pay attention at all times, Skullgills and Suiflighters can attack at any moment and once again I don't want to have to scrape up bits of you. Rule 30. If your vision at any point goes red while flying, then fly faster. That prop plane that's been following you isn't a mirage. From Zerul. That's all for today. Please don't forget to like and subscribe.